Douglas Martin Hogg, 3rd Viscount Hailsham PC QC, is a British politician and barrister. A member of the Conservative Party, he served in the Cabinet as Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food from 1995 to 1997, and was a Member of Parliament from 1979 to 2010. The Daily Telegraph in 2009 exposed Hogg for claiming upwards of £2,000 of taxpayers' money so-called for the purposes of cleaning the moat of his country estate, Kettlethorpe Hall. Thus he became one of the most prominent illustrations used by the media to portray the extent of the parliamentary expenses scandal, although it later emerged that Hogg had been encouraged by the House of Commons Fees Office to submit equivalent on bloc expenses so as to reduce admin. As a result of such negative publicity, Hogg decided to fall on his sword, rather than seek re-election at the 2010 general election. Appointed a life peer in the 2015 dissolution honours. As a member of the House of Lords, he is styled Viscount Hailsham by parliamentary custom, the family title to which he succeeded in 2001. Early life. Douglas Hogg, elder son of Lord Hailsham of St Marylebone and former Lord Chancellor, inherited the viscountcy on 12 October 2001 upon the death of his father, who had disclaimed that title for life in 1963, but who later accepted a life peerage in 1970. He is the grandson of Douglas Hogg, 1st Viscount Hailsham, formerly Lord Chancellor and Lord President of the Council until 1938. He was educated at Eton College and Christ Church, Oxford, where he graduated with a degree in history in 1968. In 1967, he served as the president of the Oxford Union. He was called to the bar in 1968, after which he practiced as a barrister. He became a Queen's Counsel in 1990, a year after his younger sister, Dame Mary Hogg, an eminent barrister, later promoted Justice of the Family Division. Member of Parliament. The Hon. Douglas Hogg was elected as a Member of Parliament at the 1979 general election for the Lincolnshire seat of Grantham, following the retirement of the sitting Conservative MP Joseph Godber. The Grantham seat was abolished at the 1997 general election. However, Hogg stood and was returned as MP for Sleaford and North Wycombe in 1997. In government. In Parliament, Hogg served as a member of the Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Select Committee from 1979, until his appointment as Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Leon Britton, in 1982. Hogg became a junior member of the government of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher following the 1983 general election, when he served as a whip for a year. He rejoined HM government in 1986 when he was appointed as a Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State at the Home Office, and was promoted in 1989 to Minister of State at the Department of Trade and Industry. Hogg was moved in 1990 under the leadership of Prime Minister John Major to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, becoming a member of the Privy Council in 1992. He joined Major's cabinet as the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food in 1995, serving in that capacity during the BSE crisis, for which he received much criticism, and remaining in post until the election of Tony Blair's Labour government in 1997. On 3 March 1997, a disgruntled farmer from Anglesey, Lewis Hayward, drove 6 hours from his farm to Kettlethorpe Hall, Lincolnshire, in order to dump 3 tons of pig manure outside Hogg's house. Following the 1997 general election, Hogg was appointed a member of the Home Affairs Select Committee for a year and was a backbench Member of Parliament until 2010. The House of Lords Act 1999 removed the automatic right of hereditary peers to a seat in the House of Lords, so when his father died in 2001, he was not required to resign from the House of Commons and remained an MP until retiring in 2010. Stephen's inquiry. In the report of his inquiry concerning collusion in Northern Ireland between loyalist paramilitaries and the security forces, under Other Matters Concerning Collusion, a section of Sir John Stephen's report reads, 2.17 My inquiry team also investigated an allegation that senior Royal Ulster Constabulary officers briefed the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for the Home Department, the RT Hon Douglas Hogg QC MP, that some solicitors were unduly sympathetic to the cause of the IRA. Mr. Hogg repeated this view during a debate on the prevention of terrorism legislation in the House of Commons. Within a few weeks Patrick Finucane was murdered. Mr. Hogg's comments about solicitors' support for terrorism made on the 17th of January 1989 aroused controversy, to the extent that they were based on information passed by the RUC. They were not justifiable, and the inquiry concludes that the minister was compromised. Expenses. Hogg claimed near maximum additional costs allowance in the 2001 and 2005 UK parliaments. In 2009, during the row over MPs' expenses, the Daily Telegraph alleged that Hogg had submitted and was paid a claim form including more than £2,000 for the moat around his country estate, Kettlethorpe Hall, to be cleared. The taxpayer helped meet the cost of a full-time housekeeper. Other allegations included expenses for work done to Hogg's stables and for his piano to be tuned. He generously spent or perhaps somewhat overspent on his farm and home office. Hogg agreed a deal with the expenses office simply to have 1/12 of the second home's allowance paid into his bank account every month. In his defense, Hogg resolutely claimed he had not claimed for moat cleaning, and that the items were a list of all expenses incurred during houseworks, most of which were not paid for by the taxpayer. Hogg responded to the newspaper's claims by saying he had agreed the claims with the fees office, and therefore hoped and believed that they would comply with the rules and the spirit of the rules as advised. In saying that his claims complied with both the spirit and letter of the rules, Hogg said he had issued, in the interests of transparency, full lists of all his expenditure on the property, but these were never meant to be the record of a claim. On the 14th of May, Hogg agreed to repay the £2,200 cost of clearing the moat, after an order from the party leadership. He maintained he had not claimed the money but agreed it had not been positively excluded from paperwork submitted to the Commons Fees Office. Following the scandal, Hogg announced on the 19th of May 2009 that he would not stand at the following general election. House of Lords. Prime Minister David Cameron put Hogg's name forward for a life barony to be included in the 2011 New Year honours, but House of Lords Appointments Commission advised against the appointment. In 2013, Hogg stood for election to the House of Lords, seat made vacant by the death of the 13th Earl Ferrers, losing to the 5th Viscount Ridley. Months later, he was stood for the hereditary peers vacancy to the 90 elected such seats in the House of Lords following the death of Hugh Mackay, 14th Lord Reay, when Lord Borwick was elected. On the 12th of October 2015, he was created a life peer as Baron Hailsham of Kettlethorpe in the county of Lincolnshire, enabling him to sit in the House of Lords. In film and fiction. In February 2010 he was played by Geoffrey Beevers in the television film On Expenses. Marriage and children. Hogg married Hon. Sarah Boyd Carpenter, daughter of John Baron Boyd Carpenter, on 6 June 1968 in Westminster. They have 2 children. Hon. Charlotte Mary Hogg, previously in charge of retail operations at Santander UK. In 2013 she was appointed first Chief Operating Officer at the Bank of England, under Governor Mark Carney. Hon. Quintin John Neil Martin Hogg, heir apparent to the Viscountcy, his wife was created a life peer as Baroness Hogg in 1995. The Hailshams are among the few couples both to hold noble titles in their own right. Titles and styles. Mr. Douglas Hogg, the Hon. Douglas Hogg, the Hon. Douglas Hogg MP, the Hon. Douglas Hogg QC MP, the RT. Hon. Douglas Hogg QC MP, the RT. Hon. The Viscount Hailsham QC MP, the RT. Hon. The Viscount Hailsham QC, Arms.